Yes, Rasko and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you live once again from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm still coolly calling the Disco Arms. And yes, thank you very much indeed for hanging around for the start of this show. Had it all planned out, and as usual with a Rasko and Disco show, live or otherwise, nothing ever goes to plan, but it's never not gone to plan this early before. Several things. I'll get onto them in a minute. First of all, I'm getting a beer out because it's been that kind of day. How's your day been? So as you see from the thumbnail, I've got a beer, and I've also, what's gone out the window is the plan I had to talk about these things. I just want to get a beer in a glass right now. This one is from Lost and Grounded. It's an unfiltered lager. It's called All the Cool Cats, of which I am very much definitely not one of the cool cats. I don't do cool beers. I don't do hype beers, except for when I do. I don't know if this is a hype beer. I mean, Lost and Grounded is a pretty well thought of brewery over in Bristol. By the way, hello, Luke John, Simo, being patiently waiting in the comments. And whoever else is there, do let me know what is, if anything, you are drinking. I'll check the comments up on the screen. As always, do things slightly differently from everybody else. We like to do like more of a show thing. We always have. And I've said in the thing, in the description, I'm going to try and keep it to an hour. I've got 3 beers on, 1 hour. What could possibly go wrong? Cheers. Let us know what you're drinking. Don't let me forget. Also, plan to stop. Well, not stop, just keep going. Take some photographs and put them up on the Instagram, because I've been a little bit lax with beer reviews recently. In fact, you might say I've got a bit of a problem. That's what my introduction was going to be. I've got a bit of a problem with beer. Don't worry, it's not that kind of I think about beer as soon as I wake up type discussion, although I kind of do, but I don't think about drinking beer. I think about what beers I'm going to talk about. I've also managed to amass a fair amount of beers. Oh yeah, so I've called this show Bash the Stash because I want to get rid of some of the beers. See, this is kind of the issue that I have. This is my beer stash. That's the unboxed boxes. There's some still in those boxes. The Alter Ego one, and the other cans just kind of sit on the shelf. Give me a shout if you can see one that you want me to review or one that you recognise. Because there's quite a few in there, and quite a few from a couple of years ago. At one point, I was doing a aged beer series. And now I've got quite a lot of aged beer. See them Northern Monk ones. I just never got around to doing them when everybody else rushed out. And there's a couple of disco beers in there. See, now that even is before. That was like last week. That's even before the latest beer deliveries, including well, that one was in there. It was just in the corner on the right hand side, including the ones I'm doing later that came in that I ordered for various things. It's trouble when I order beers. I kind of I'll do an order for one specific beer, usually like a disco beer, but to kind of make it worthwhile when you're paying £5-6 on the delivery, and also because I keep seeing beers that I want to drink. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you do an order, and it comes up to 8-10 beers. There's a lot of beers that are, kind of have to have the willpower not to put on the order. Yeah, it's one hell of a stash. Now, I'm not a rich man, mostly because I've spent it all on beers, but it's kind of racking up. And what I'm not good at, I'm really good at buying beers. What I'm not good at is drinking. Well, actually, no, I'm really good at drinking beers, or I like to think so. I've been doing it a while now. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm well in practice. But what I meant to do the beers for was to like talk about beers. I love talking about beers as much as I love drinking about beers. But sometimes being in this beer reviewing business, it's a funny old game, YouTube, isn't it? And I know a lot of people that are watching this are YouTubers or beer YouTubers themselves, and maybe you've got quite a bigger stash. I had a discussion with Raggy a while back, and you see all of his beers in the shed in the cold, and I think I probably rival Raggy. I think he's probably got a bit more than me. You've got 5 beers in the house. Well, there you go, 6 months off beer if you're not collecting them as well. Maybe I should do that, but I can't help it. I just keep... It's one thing about being online. I keep looking on Instagram. Not so much on Twitter now, because we got busted off Twitter. Did you know we got busted off Twitter? Does it matter? Whatever it's called now. X, and it. I'm still calling it Twitter. Stuff you, Elon. But yeah, so I've got a few in the stash, and I keep saying I was going to do this. Full of drama. Ain't no drama here, apart from my own personalised drama that I manage to put upon myself. Right, before I forget, bear with me a second. Let me get the old camera out. Keep talking amongst yourselves, because I'm only over here behind the camera. I want to do the whole picture thing, because, well, that's what we do in YouTube land or in Instagram land, and the lighting is terrible. Well, at least got a picture to put up tomorrow on the old Instagram, because I haven't done that for a couple of weeks. I kind of haven't had that much beer really in the last couple of weeks, if I'm honest. Apart from that, while I was up the brewery, I've had a few beers up there, of course. I'll try not to talk about the brewery too much unless you want me to, of course. In fact, I will try and do more talking about the brewery in other videos. But yeah, I spent a couple of days up there now, so I don't often get so much chance when I get back. I'm only up there a couple of days. You think I'd have time on all the other days of the week, but it's also about, like, contrary to popular belief, I don't like the sound of my own voice. So when I'm sitting there reviewing a beer, sitting in front of the camera, I sit there and I hear myself say stuff, and I think, "You idiot, Disco, that's rubbish," or "It's really twee," or "It's like just a bit kind of bland." So I stop. I've got so many beer reviews I've canned. I've just put in the thing and gone, do you know what? Don't worry about it. It's not that important. And it isn't, but I have bought the beers. So I kind of do want to talk about them, because I've bought beers that I specifically want to drink and really want to talk about, because I think they'd be interesting. Like, I had a beer the other day. It's this one. It's a 5-year-old beer. I was going to do it in the aged beer series, and then I just needed a dark beer, and it was the only one that was I could find. It was a plain dark beer. I needed something. Best before date is 2019. Still absolutely perfect. It's an Imperial Schwarz beer, so it's got those nice maltiness. And I thought I could say loads of things about this if I'd given it the time and actually done it. But yeah, so I've got loads and loads to do. So I've been talking about doing this for a while, just calling it Bash the Stash. Just get out, drink the beer, 3 beers, 20 minutes each, do a little piece to camera beer review. If I can do the editing and the download thing, maybe I can get a beer video out of it. But then, sometimes, since we're talking about Paravel, since we're in the bar, I don't know if it's a selling point, but yeah, I've sold some beers up there. I got some very fancy beers saved for my birthday in June, and half a fridge full of other random stuff, including a few massive stouts and a cupboard, which will probably wait until next winter. Yeah, I've got a few massive stouts that waited last winter and the winter before, in fact. So I've got to get onto them at some point. But do you know what I mean? Sometimes that's the other thing I worry about too much: lighting. I ain't got the right lighting, and I sit there and I think, oh, I don't want to stout in the middle of the afternoon when the light's great. That's when I do most of my videos, like, or the early evening in the summer. But I don't really want to stout then. I want to stout when it's dark. So I've got to get the lighting right. And then by that time, I've had a few beers, and I'm like, I just want another beer rather than talking about it. Like, stout season is over. Behave yourself, sunshine. It's always stout season, especially if I've got some big stouts in the back there. But as always, not particularly well-known ones. A marble stout, imperial stout from Marble for Christmas, and I haven't got around to drinking it. That'll be fine by next Christmas, I would think. Like I say, I had this one from 29. It wasn't stout. It was dark. I suppose it was a lager beer. Absolutely hit all the right notes of a kind of porter in a lager. And I've got 2 videos sitting on the edit bank that I've got to do and get out. So I will get around to them. Talking of getting around to it. So, yeah. Lost and Grounded, all the cool cats, 5.1%. Unfiltered lager. Well, I can see there's a bit of a haze on it. Nice amount of carbonation racing up the glass there. Very, very pale straw lemon coloured beer. One of these that I picked up, actually picked up from my local bottle shop that was closing, so I rushed down there to see what else I could find. Just grabbed this one because I like Lost and Grounded. Don't get round to them enough. Bristol is on the list of cities to visit at some stage to get around all the places there. I know loads of other people have been there already, but I do want to do that in case of getting out and about again at some point. Still doing a lot of drinking at home or up the road. This one's absolutely hit the spot after the evening that I've had. Yeah, nicely balanced. A little bit of kind of touch of lemongrass, touch of that kind of herbally lager that you get in like a European lager, but without pulling too much towards that. I generally prefer like the German Czech lagers because they've got those kind of flavour profiles of things going on. This one's got a touch of lemon, a touch of wheatiness, good body to it, although nice and light and refreshing for a 5%er. This one is one of those that if I was doing it in front of a straight piece to camera, I probably wouldn't think about too much. I probably wouldn't find too much more to say about it. But you can take a big mouthful of that, get it down my neck. Yeah, fine ales. I only drink craft. There's no such thing as craft beer. Well, there is, but there isn't. It's just a couple of words banged together, much like real ale, to be fair. It's all bloody real. Other controversial subjects I'll come on to later. But yeah, fine ales, I would like to get around to them. I've never had Jarl, their main beer. Keep seeing it about. I have to do like an order. There is so many beers. I keep using this expression, too many beers and not enough me. Because there's so many breweries. There's like 2,500, or probably under now with all the ones that are shut. But there's still people opening up breweries all the time thinking that they can make it or they can do a job. And I think they can. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if they've got a good product, if they've got a good local market, if they've got maybe a USP or one good beer that gets out and really gets the capacity up so that they can get out, so they can get national distribution, fair play, give it a go, why not? It may or may not work. Look at me, working at a brewery that kind of started up 5 years ago in that kind of small stuff, still kind of fairly small and local, but I'm kind of enjoying it and just needed to step up that extra capacity a bit, so started there 2 days a week. Probably be more in the summer. We had a wild yeast beer or two. Yeah, wild yeast beers can be funny because they tend to go a bit kind of farmhousey, saison, and a bit sharp, a bit tart, almost like a sour without being sour. I don't mind them. I always try them. Certainly always try like a saison style because there's usually something interesting in it, a bit of fruit sometimes. But yeah, that's one that's not to everybody's taste. To Islay is Islay or Islay? I think it's Islay, isn't it? Ales for this Friday. Yeah, Scotland is Excuse me, bit of a sniff. Scotland, I think, was one of the certainly in the early part of like lockdown in the COVID years, 2020, 2021. Scotland was probably the third biggest area I got beers from, and I was still only getting 4 or 5 breweries. There was still so much possible out of there. I used a cider for the yeast. So, like, yeah, okay. It was the worst dry cider taste I've had, worse than Scrumpy Jack. There we go. Always learning. Who says beer isn't educational? Isla, silent S and a silent Y. Why do you need to say so many silent letters? Just Isla. Oh, that's nice. There's a little bit more lemon, kind of, not like harsh bit of lemon or kind of rattler kind of thing, but it's just a touch on the edge. Quite pleased with that one. It's quite nice. Put it in the fridge earlier. Can anybody remember what time I actually started? I know I put it up for 8. It was about 1:15, wasn't it? Apologies once again for that. I was doing really well until about an hour ago. I fell down the stairs, or rather slipped on the stairs, and just basically sat down really heavily. Except my left leg went up in the air and through the banisters, kicked one of the banisters out. Everything's fine as far as I can tell. There's nothing broken or out, but I have got a slightly sore body bone now. So if you hear a bit of squeaking, it's because I'm on the squeaky chair, because I've got a cushion on it, and that's the one that my slightly bruised posterior fits on. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Luke John, 2021. Not the year. So, good stuff. Yeah, wasn't quite as dramatic as Steve Mann stunts fall down the stairs. I was only halfway up and only went down one step and just sort of sat down very heavily. And there's quite a bit of weight to sit down on one posterior. So yeah, it kind of hurt, but brushed myself down, got on with it really. So I kind of really needed this beer because I got back here and the internet wasn't working properly and this wasn't happening. It's all good fun on a Rasko and Disco live stream. So I'm just pleased really that there's anybody in here to chat away to. I hope I haven't scared anybody off by being late. Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. Do you know what I mean? That's part of it as well, like about not getting all the reviews out anymore. I got home here, whether I've been out at the brewery or like around the corner or whatever, and I sit down and I'm like, I might just have a nice cup of tea, instead of a beer. Because all the beers I've got in at the moment, I haven't got any beers in despite all that stash. I haven't got any that I can just sit and not think about. Like I try and buy them in pairs so that I can have one beer for the review. If it doesn't work, I can do another one. And then I can, if it does work, I can actually just enjoy the second one or maybe go back for more. There's fairly few beers that I've gone back in large quantities and just bought like a 12-pack of it because I really enjoyed it on the review. There was like the one the year before last where, funny enough, that was from Fierce Beer, wasn't it? It was the bramble port, kind of sour bramble port, and I went back and got some more because I just really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a shock, but I should have some beers in. I sometimes see, like, I just go back for like a German wheat beer in the supermarket and pick it up just so if I fancy a beer rather than having to sit and write about it, sit and think about it. I'm not doing a write-up for this one. I'm going to come back to it and do them all tomorrow, I think. Oh, cheers, Luke. That's very kind of you. Bear me a sec. Another trip to Scotland. Mind you're halfway there, so it's probably a little bit less expensive for you, isn't it? Because you're pretty much there. Well, I've just noticed, talking about the time, there's a thing on the top left-hand corner that tells me I've been banging on for 20 minutes about this beer. It's quite a decent one. As you see, I put it scrolling on the bottom there. Yeah. That's it. Rasko and Disco beer review, only with much less Rasko these days. I still like to give him a mention, do you know what I mean? In case he's watching. Hello if you are. But yeah, All the Cool Cats by Lost and Ground, 5.1% unfiltered lager. Make that fairly quickly. Cheers. Anybody else apart from Luke, do let us know what it is you've got in your glass, if you've got anything. I do love to talk about beer. If I can find the things to say. Right, on to the next beer. It's another lager. It is something blue. It's also something a little bit old. It's from Anspach and Hobday, talking about Rasko. It's Rasko's local brewery. We went to the opening of their new brewery in Croydon just before lockdown. It is the festival lager, so I'm going to put it in a generic festival glass. It's not really a festival glass, it's just a big handle. Give it a generous pour. And continental style head on the beer like you're meant to. You're meant to pour it in two. I poured that terribly, but it's worked out all right. Have you seen Birra Moretti's new unfiltered with added salt beer? Sounds great until you see that it's brewed in the UK. Well, to be fair, it sounds great until the words Birra Moretti pass your list. I'm sure it's great and that, but it's not one that I get onto very often. I mean, I'm actually all very much down with. Thanks, mate. I see that one. See, he's like producing and directing in the corner. Time to change the manner. So yeah, beer 2. Anspach and Hobday, the festival lager, 5% festa beer. But you say that, right? You say that it sounds great until you see it's brewed in the UK. Well, these are all brewed in the UK. What I think Luke actually means there, Luke, is mass produced in the UK. See, these are somewhat less mass produced by economies of scale, so they come up a bit better quality. But yeah, Birra Moretti if I have to, or I could just leave the pub and go and find somewhere better. Nothing much on the nose with this one. Cheers. Absolutely spot on as always. Another decent lager. I guess it's from last October. Didn't check the date actually. Yeah, August. So that will, I guess, will have been made last year. Always excellent artwork on your Anspach and Hobday cans. Nicely drawn artwork. I think that's basically German beer festivals through the ages. Well, they're all pretty much wearing much the same gear, to be fair. But yeah, do love the artwork on an Anspach and Hobday can brewed out of Croydon in South London. What? Well, JB Adventures, thanks for popping in. Good to see you. What's in your glass? If you're watching along, guess it might be a little bit early for a beer where you is, but thank you for the comments. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I'm just sort of rolling through the stash. Just a quick live stream on. It's Wednesday evening. I've got 3 beers to get through. Then I'm off to play darts on Zoom. I'm probably one of the only people in the country still doing weekly Zoom meetings, apart from the other 2-3 people on my Zoom meeting playing darts. But yeah, 9:30, I'm off for a little bit of that. So beer and darts, got to have a few beers before the darts. Just getting some interesting taste on the lips on that one as it's coming through. I don't know if it's we were talking about salt earlier. There's a little bit of salinity, which is more like savouriness, like the German beers you get that's got a bit of continental beers that's got a bit of sort of coriander and a little bit of spice leaf to it. Yeah, there's a little bit of savouriness there alongside the wheatiness that I quite like. I quite like the savouriness of the beers. I love me sweet beers. I love the sweet malt that comes through on beers. I've not found a beer that's too sweet for me yet. But this one's more savoury. There's a little bit of that lemon drop. I keep saying lemon drop. It's not lemon drop. That's a particular hop, but there's that kind of slight citrus note round the back. Oh, there you go. Hopefully I'm providing the productivity for you while I was working away, and hopefully I don't run out of things to say. So I've got these 3 beers going on. I'm going to have another go at that. It's really nice. Another very, very neckable beer. I was going to say another neckable beer from Anspach and Hobday, but not all their beers are neckable. I got a very small order in from them. I got their brown, I got their porter, and I got their smoked brown. Sure, I could be pleased at that. But for a very specific video, hopefully should have done last week, but may get around to doing it next week if I can get that other batch of beer edits out of the way, and all the ones I plan to do as well. As I say, struggling a little bit with the beer videos. Sit in front of the camera. There's one thing sitting in front of the camera, but the next thing is then looking at the edits. And fair play to all the beer reviewers that don't bother with edits and just chuck it up as is. I struggle with that. You know what I mean? In my head, I'd sit there, bung it in the editor and go, I've got to take that bit out and that bit, that's best roll. I'm going to cover that with like a little swoosh or some text, because I just think it adds something. It just adds a bit more interest for me more than anything. Yes, Luke John, the NH Nitro Porter on tap. You had it with Liam. Your local up in the northeast. That's great that it gets up that far. It was all right, but I've been out of the Porter Stout. Yeah, well, obviously, Rasko has been banging on about it a bit this week, as he has been for the last year. We've known about it for a while. They've been talking about just how to do the technology to get it in the can. I went to Anspach and Hobday. Was it the other Monday to get this one? This one is kind of just a make weight on the order. I didn't really need this one, but I'm glad it is. It's one I can say I got the second can, so I can just drink that without thinking about and having to review it, to be fair. And I don't have to go in too much detail on it, but I knew they had Nitro Porter, and it's on their website. But when I went on there, it was sold out, I think, because they pulled the cans out onto trade and to other venues along with the kegs of it. So I didn't actually get any, and because my local was closed, stock Anspach and Hobday, they didn't bother getting any in because they were closing. So I've missed out, but I've not tried it on tap as well, because where I am, I haven't really been getting out that much in the last few years. So none of the places where I'm local will have it on. Apart from Beer Asylum, as I say, they did have it on. I just didn't manage to get there before it sold out. So I've not tried the Nitro Porter at all. But I've heard good things about it. Really enjoyed hearing everybody else talking about. Rasko has done a few reviews of it. The first beer is done to German purity. Well, I suppose because there's no adjuncts needed, really. I think even if I get the magnifying glass, I'm not going to be able to read all the writing on that because my eyesight is terrible, especially in this light. So no, I can't imagine there's any adjuncts in it to worry about. And it doesn't taste like that. It just tastes like a perfectly decent fresh beer. Quite a little bit light in terms of body, but it doesn't detriment the flavour in any way. So yeah, fresh beer you expect to be a bit more slightly bulky, a bit wheatier maybe. But again, that's the thing. Right? I want to say brioche. I'll come back to that in a minute. I want to say brioche, and I hate saying the word brioche in a thing because it's got that kind of slight sweetness around that bready flavour. So we've got all these beer reviewers in. Do you use that term brioche for like sweet bready flavour? I can't find another term for it. But I sit there and hear myself brioche and think, I don't know. I tried to swear, but yeah, I think it sounds a bit posh. Sounds a bit above my station. Do you know what I mean? So I try and avoid saying brioche, but it's there. I don't go around buying brioche very often, but that's what I'm getting. But I think it's just in my head. I think, nah, don't say that. So when I hear that in the edit, it kind of stops me and I have to take stuff out. But yeah, you're right. If you've never done any editing because it takes too long, it does. You're right. It just, there shouldn't need to be any. I'm always striving to do it one take perfection and it never works. I've got 3 days of Violate. I'm currently editing 8 hours for a 12-minute video so far. Well, yeah, it has to be really has to be. Or you just chuck it up. Or to be fair, there's other people like Sammy, like Short and Stout. He just does everything live. It's kind of why I'm doing these 3 live now, just to not get them out of the way, to do them, to add value, to talk about the beers. Maybe if I talk about one beer and somebody sees it and likes what they see, I don't like what I'm rambling on about, maybe they go and buy it, and it helps the kind of beer scene develop. It helps things going on. Mr. B, good evening to you. Halftime nipping. Is it halftime already? Oh, yeah, apparently there's some footing ball going on, but Adam at Mersey Beers was complaining that I was impinging on some footing ball going on up north. For me, there's no football going on till the weekend, so I didn't even think to look, to be fair. And I always forget about 8 o'clock kickoffs in midweek. So, yeah, sorry. Hope you're enjoying the footing ball. Didn't really pique my interest that much. I don't know. I'm guessing Liverpool are about, 3-0 up by now? No spoilers. If anybody wants any spoilers, you can all look it up. But I don't really care. So, yeah, let us know. Hey, vlogging. Yeah, vlogging is difficult as well because you end up the same thing. You end up waffling on. And you've got a waffle to fill the time, but you can also hear yourself say, I want to take that bit out in the edit. Oh, yeah. Cooking videos. I couldn't do that, not in my kitchen. 18 minutes for fry up, I got told, is too long. Well, again, yeah, if you put it all out in one. But it did look quite a good fry up, to be fair. Yeah, for everybody else, if they watched Luke's fry up, didn't understand. I mean, I know in Scotland, fry-ups are slightly different with the old square sausage. I don't think I've ever had square sausage. I must have done. I've been in Scotland, but I haven't been in Scotland for 20-odd years. Apart from that one brief visit to Gretna Green. Not for that, just as a tourist. But I wasn't there for breakfast. So, yeah, I don't think you need square sausage and regular sausage, but they all look good. I'll say I was pleased to see the black pudding on there. I was pleased to see the old tatty scone. I think that's the component parts of a very, very good fry-up. Definitely got to have the eggs, the bacon, and some kind of sausage. Doesn't matter whether it's square or long. I think you've got to have mushrooms, although not everybody likes the mushrooms. I think you have to have some kind of tomato component. Some people go with beans. I much prefer fried tomatoes. Will accept tinned tomatoes warmed up, as long as there's not too much juice sloshing around a plate. You have to have some kind of potato component, be it hash browns, be it tatty scones. I'm all up for tatty scones. I do love that. push comes to shove, sauteed potatoes, yeah, why not? And yeah, personally, black pudding, although pig's blood is not everybody's favourite kind of meal, but I'd give that a go. Sharky, good to see you. Thanks for popping in. All the way from USA. Thank you very much indeed. You want to edit the beers? You can edit my beers if you want. I wouldn't really wish that on anybody. To be fair, listening to me wanging on, although you all are. Thank you very much indeed for the 8 people who are dropping in on this Wednesday afternoon. And also a massive thanks if you are watching after the event. Please watch all the way to the end. Or just skip forward. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Kurt called it a lawn steak. I just went all out. We had 30 grams. yeah. Well, to be fair, you definitely need the lining in the stomach for that, don't you? So fair play. Yeah, I've heard it called lawn sausage, but I've never heard it called a steak slice before. I thought that was the thing to get in pastry from Greg's. But there we go. Hey, some more American visitors. Square Table Degenerates. I can't even speak. It's only been 2 beers. Square Table Degenerates podcast. Joe Edibles, thanks for popping in. What's all this today? What do you mean they? It's just me. It's just me today. But there you go. It's me and all of you who've popped in for a beer. Let us know what you're drinking. I know Joe Edibles is not, but let me know what other vices you are partaking in. Or is it a little bit early? It's probably a little bit early for that. Where you are? Mr. Wilson. Hello. Good evening, sir. Cheers. I know you know all about Anspach and Hobday. I think you've had a few probably. Not necessarily today, but just generally. And I'm really pleased that everybody's popped in and chatting amongst yourselves. That's all good. Yeah, so Anspach and Hobday, Rasko's local brewery, although he's not here. I don't mind dropping him a little mention. He's had a few beers at Anspach and Hobday and his local pubs. He's not too far from Liam, actually. I keep saying to him, go and have a word with Liam, have a beer in the hope. Hopefully that'll happen at some point. I'm hoping to have a beer again with Liam at some point. I've got a few ideas for him for beer videos. I'll have to give him a shot. Joe's still at work. Still at work for another half hour, but it's still the Gorilla Glue. Oh, that's what you're partaking of. And up to Michigan on Friday. Sounds like a good weekend. I don't know Michigan well, but it's a city, so have a good time. Sounds good. Yeah, it's time for beer, but work is getting in the way. That's the thing with time difference, isn't it? Oh, no, here's the thing. Just seen a little message talking about Rasko. Just sent me a message that it was served on cask, the Nitro Porter. It was served at GBBF on cask. Yes, it was, to be fair. And I still never got around to it. That's a good point. Nitro Porter and cask. I should have found out how that works. Hopefully Rasko will explain to me at some point. I suppose you just put the nitrogen in the cask with the beer. I don't know. Do let me know, people with more beer knowledge than me. I never got around that side at GBBF. I didn't do it on purpose, but it was one I meant to go back to and then kind of ran out of time. I thought you might, Dave Wilson. Yeah, love a bit of Anspach and Hobday. As I say, got a video coming up for the other beers that I got in. The smoked brown, which might interest Shark, because I know he loves a good smoked beer. And the smoked brown from Anspach and Hobday is a very good smoked beer. So look out for that one, Sharky. Well, I drank a lot of beers at work. I'm not sure whether I'm meant to, but if no one finds out, it's fine, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Especially after work, since I'm at the bar. Might as well, don't want it to go to waste now, you know what I mean? 2024 Sharktoberfest. I saw that go up. That's some incredibly good advanced planning, to be fair. I'd imagined you'd got it all planned already. Everybody, let Sharky know what beer we should brew for Sharktoberfest. I assume that's around Oktoberfest, so it's probably going to be some kind of German style lager. I'm going to say a dark lager because I always do. I'm going to stop short of saying a smoked dark lager because I know that's not your thing, but yeah, definitely go for something dark and malty and chocolatey. Hey, Rob's on the homebrew, literally on the homebrew, Yorkshire tea. You're the wrong side of the Pennines for that, Rob, but you know, fair enough. I love a bit of Yorkshire tea, any tea, to be fair. I don't really understand that comment, so I'm going to move swiftly on. In the words of the great Philby Trilby, Phil. No, yeah, I was thinking that you might. I was thinking, I don't actually know how those nitro beers work. Anyway, obviously I know there's nitrogen involved, and it goes some through a part of the process. So, do they just nitro it in the cask? Do they just inject the nitrogen into the cask? Do they put it in at the same time as the beer? I don't know. I have to ask. Hopefully, Rasko will do a video about it at some point. Although he's not really doing videos at the moment, but he's got one coming out soon. Apparently, I believe one of the last of his interview series. There we go. Somebody else drinking some beer. Working my way through a litre of One Planet's Brewing Hazy IPA, locally produced beer. I know you're somewhere around the south of London, well, outers. Home counties, One Planet Brewing. I'm going to have to look that one up. I know there's 2,400 and something breweries in this country, so I'm not going to have heard of them all, but that is one I have definitely not heard of. Whereabouts are they, David Wilson? In obviously, I know you know in that southwest area, but I'll have to look them up. I think. You don't want me drinking on lunch. Bars wouldn't serve beer around lunchtime. Well, yeah. There you go. That's one free shot. David Wilson saying get a Marzen. Metzen. Ooh, Mr. B's done a review of it. Ah, sweet. Counter beers or table beers? Not sure about table beers. Yeah, no, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't have a cask on nitro. That is called a keg. Metal or wood? See, when you say cask, I automatically think wood, and I know that's wrong. It shouldn't. But yeah. So I was just looking at a photograph of London Black that Rasko sent me. I can't see anything in those details, but hopefully he'll let me know. Nitro is usually added to the cask, I believe. Well, I can imagine so, yeah. Yeah. I will find out. Instead of pouring a beer in a glass, you dump it over the counter and lap it up like a puppy. You must go for some really good bars. Is that like extra? My apologies, Rob. I missed that review. I'll check that out. Oh dear. I used to like Hogsback. I'm sure the beers are still good at Hogsback, but yeah, they had a few issues. They you know, yeah, let's not go in with that anyway. Hogsback, they do a beer called Tea. What is it? Tongham Extra Ale? Yeah, I used to enjoy going into bars and ordering a pint of tea. TEA. Verdant and Sure Shot. Two breweries I've had with precious little from. I've only ever had one Verdant. Like I said at the very top of the show, I'm not into rushing out for those sort of breweries, those sort of beers, but still managed to accrue rather a lot of beer. You can get a nitro feel to the beer by what tip you have on the beer engine serving the cask beer. Well, you mean like a sparkler? I mean, I guess that gives the same kind of qualities as nitro without actually being nitro. See, I'm still learning. I ask people about this stuff all the time. I ask what might be kind of fair basic. Oh, sorry. As I was saying earlier, right down the stairs earlier, fair bruise in my body bone, so I'm kind of parched upon this stool a little bit. If you can hear the squeaks, that's what it is. Yeah, sparkler. Didn't know if we call it a sparkler. Big discussion. Fair split between north and south. The north, I always forget which one it is. I think it's the north use sparklers and the south of the country don't. Except if you come to the brewery where I'm at, because we're southerners with northern sensibilities, although head brewer is a northerner who spent most of his time down south. So yeah, he has a sparkler on the bar. Don't always need it with our beers, to be fair, but we have started doing casks, so we put it on for the oatmeal stout in a cask, which is fairly bubbly, but not like carbonated, but nicely soft and smooth anyway. So it doesn't really need the sparkler, and also it's proper fresh. It doesn't go anywhere. It moves like 500 yards within the brewery, less than that. So it's so fresh, it doesn't really need a sparkler that much. Traditional English ale, that's the one I was thinking of. Yes, now it's Tongham tea. That's where I was getting the tea from. Tea and traditional English ale. See, there's another one. Cloudwater. Known about Cloudwater for a long, long time. Only ever had one of their beers. I haven't even touched Cloudwater since Purple Bob in Bermondsey. In around about 2018, I think it was. Not going to jump on this hype train. Yay. 38 quid for 4 cans, but I see much more interesting beers from Cloudwater. On a Heisen like a kimchi sour. Wow. That's funny you should say that, actually, because Perivale did do a kimchi sour because one of the owner's wives is from Korea, and she does a good kimchi, and they made up a batch of kimchi and might put it in a beer. And we've had a lot of people asking about that one, whether we're going to redo that this year. So that could be an interesting trade-off. The first time I go back to Cloudwater for 5 years, and it's the kimchi sour, and I put it up against Perivale. That would be very, very interesting. I don't know too much about kimchi, but see the beer that we had. So yeah, very interesting one. A little bit of that hit at the end. We also do a tomato sour, which goes down really, really well in the summer. We've got to redo that again as well. Yeah, I thought it was the North is Sparkler Country. I have to remember that. But there we go. Yeah, so this was Anspach and Hobday, the Festival Lager, 5% Fest beer. Went down fairly quick enough. Went down proper nice and refreshing. All the right notes of a festival lager, some breadiness, some touch of citrus, vague hints of lemon. But yeah, smashable. Cheers, all. Let me take that one off because we're now no longer on. Beer 2, we are now. And I forgot to do this earlier. But we are now on beer number 3, which is... I don't actually want to go on to this one. I want another lager, to be fair, but I haven't got a lot of time because I was doing late. But yes, the next one is this funky little number called New Sound from Alter Ego Brewing. It is a 5.2% peanut and caramel stout. You might have seen the unboxing video of this one. I got this one in because... Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. I got this one in thanks to Reggie up in Nottingham area, where he had his own brew from Alter Ego. And that one's fallen down. Yeah, might as well. So I picked a few others up from Alter Ego and haven't quite got around to reviewing them all yet. I did the Heller's Lager on the unboxing video. And yeah, didn't quite get around to doing the others. So, like I say, bash in the stash. Gonna do it now tonight to finish off this little selection of beers. In this, what, maybe slightly more than an hour. Triple beer review. Oh, I love that gluggy sounds. Sounds good. Pours in fairly thick and gloopy with a decently developing head. Some funky can artwork. I don't know who that is, but looks like he's having a good time. Let's see if we have a good time with this beer. Yeah, kimchi, fermented cabbage and chili with other stuff. Not something you'd probably normally expect to find in a beer. It's one of the weirder ones, but it somehow kind of works. And it's not even necessarily the weirdest thing I've had in a beer up at Perivale. That is coming very soon, possibly as soon as this weekend. And I will try to squeeze in a review of it. If you saw my prawn cocktail IPA video from Perivale the other week, even that is not the weirdest thing they've put in a beer up there. Prawn cocktail, prawns in a beer. Would you try it? I mean, if you're trying kimchi, it's not that far removed, to be fair. But as for this one, it's a fairly standard adjuncted beer. Peanut and caramel, not quite sure. Well, no, they don't always have to be adjuncts. You can get that from the malt, to be fair. But let's dive in. Oh, this one, yeah, sounds like a good beer. It is. Yeah, it's not. I should probably have palate cleansed in between that, because that kind of slight spiciness off the fest beers and the lagers. Not sure hits with the stout. There's a little bit of a clash. I can taste the peanut, but it's kind of masked a little bit by those. So let me get that out of the way. Even the football's restarted again. Or as soon as I got a stout out, half the people disappeared. I know you're back. Welcome back. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry, wait a second. Got waylaid. Yeah, so adjuncted stouts. It's another potential opinion divider. A lot of people say, I see a lot of people hear or see a lot of people saying they're getting fed up with adjuncted beers. I have to be said, I'm not. I love a good adjunct. I love a weird adjunct, especially if the beer tastes good. I'm getting increasing to put the water across the palate. That's weird that the peanut flavour is developing more after a little bit of water. Let's try again. Cheers, all. Yeah, there's some peanut wafer stuff going on there. I see the colours on this can. Reminded me of chocolate bar. It took me ages to work out what it was I was looking at. And I think, if I remember rightly, is it not Star Bar? And I've got another beer in the stash that I've never got around to actually putting a video out for that's based on a Star Bar from a brewery that is kind of on hiatus at the moment. And you can still get Star Bars, by the way. I actually got one in the cupboard. I should have broken it out with this one. Taste is important bit with adjuncts. Yeah, the adjuncts have got to hit right. They've got to balance against the sweetness of the malt. It depends what you're in. With a stout, you've got the malt enough to do the kind of chocolate flavours. Let's have a little look. Forgot to get the old magnifying glass out. Bear with me a second. I'm not going far for it. It's just kind of located behind here. No, it's not. Where the chuff is it? No, it is in there, in the darkness. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Fuck that hurt. Oh, I did a swear. I did a little swear because I got a hurty on my body bone and I sat down on the chair too hard. That'll learn you. That'll learn you. Right, what do we got here? Embrace your alter ego. Hello, I'm Disco. That's not my real name. We brew great beer for superheroes like you. Be kind, be good. Hey, that's good words, but I want to know about the beer. Here we go. Strum yourself to ecstasy with this sweet peanut and caramel milk stout. It's like two sides. It's all this nice, good words, and then some utter filth on the other side. Only in your mind. That was an innuendo, as you know, I always say about innuendos. Always worth slipping one in now and again. Right, let's get back to business. Ingredients, all the obvious stuff. Water, barley, hops, yeast, blah, blah, blah. Oh, lactose and natural flavouring. Oh, I was hoping to see something more interesting than that. But what do you think natural flavouring is in a peanut and caramel? Well, the natural flavouring is from the malt. So, yeah, I'd love to know. I do like it when breweries put like some full information on. Like, I don't think the majority of people are going to steal that information and go and brew their own beer and not buy your beer, because you're probably going to work out anyway if you're into that kind of home brewing stuff. And if the beer is that good, you're going to want to like recreate it anyway. So for the amount of people, but I still think that it'd be nice for people like me who just like to know stuff. I'd like to know exactly what is actually in the beer. Natural flavouring. Can they make artificial beer flavour? Yeah, naturally artificial flavours. Yeah. So that reminds me, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm getting peanut wafer, peanut brittle, a little touch of chocolate, odd smattering of bourbon biscuit in a way. Not really too much in the way of coffee, but just a touch of bourbon biscuit. It's not a massive. It's not like the smoky peanut flavour you get. Yeah, but it's interesting. It goes. It's a nice. I do generally tend to finish on the stouts because it's like a dessert beer. You know, you've had like your starter and your main course, and this is like the dessert to finish off. I mean, I'm not finishing off. I'm off to play darts, as I say, at 9:30, so I've got to work out what beer to have with that. I generally play better darts the more beer I've had, or 3 years about my kind of like I can play some decent darts. But yeah, there we go. 3 beers out of my stash that I keep meaning to get around to. I'm hoping to do another 3 tomorrow. I'll put up tomorrow morning. Something a little bit different once again. I don't think if you saw my little review around the stash, let's have a little check, see again. I don't think they were seen. I think they're in a box, aren't they? So let's have a little look. Yeah, this is sort of my stash at the moment. Trembler Madness. I didn't even put that one up, that Trembler Madness box. There's the marble box. That Arbor beer. I drank that and didn't even bother to review it. There's more marble stuff. I got that out. There's another Anspach and Hobday there. Son of a bitch. That's an interesting one from Tem. A little video about where I got that from. There's some bottles there. Some big bottles. Banana bread beer. Do you remember that one? I've got a specific idea about that one. Big Vocation beer. There's another disco beer. See them Northern Monk Apple Abominations. I never got round to doing that box. I might still do that as a bash to stash kind of thing. A little bit of Vocation there. Yeah, far too many beers, to be fair. And even more in them boxes. See anything you like there? See anything you want me to actually review? That's very kind of you, Kevin. Thank you very much indeed. Good live review. We all like live reviews. I quite like doing live reviews. Pomona beer? In your stash or my stash? Because it's not in my stash, I don't think. I haven't got a Pomona Island beer in my stash. Oh, no, I have. Yes, that was the Doris, wasn't it? I didn't get it from Pomona Island. I got that from from Trembler Madness. I got that for a very specific reason. I am not allowed to say, like 2 or 3 people will know, but none of you lot. There was a reason I got that. That's a beer called Doris Gets Her Oats. No, yes, you did. I don't even. That's the thing. There's so many beers in there. I've just looked at it and I've still forgotten what beers are in my stash. But yes, yes, Doris Gets Her Oats. That's a big imperial stout. That again, I bought just because of the name, for reasons I'm not allowed to say live or in public. But there are some people who know why I got that. Sammy, short and stout popped in. Thank you from the other side of the world. We got Americans in, we got Australian in. Fair to say, don't mind a live review. You love a live review. And I was just mentioning earlier about the fact that I've got all these beers in the stash and I just need to get them out and talk about them and let people know about them. And I'm going to have to do it live because I've not got around to doing it on video. And now my nose is getting blocked up and I'm struggling to speak. So, well, this is what I thought. I didn't think about that, just doing like a whole day stream where I just go and like randomize it and just pick ones out and just. You get to a point, there's a couple there that are out of date, I think. I mean, I know dates are nominal, but there will, like I said, I had one the other day. It's 5 years after best before date, summer 2019, that one is. And I drank it and it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it is a 9.8% Imperial Schwarz beer. And I bought it 2 years out of date in the first place, but it's just been sitting there. I've got another one. I will hopefully, I think, do a video review of it at some point. So yeah, that was a really good beer, despite being 5 years past. And here we go. This is the moment I have been waiting for. I'm not sure I've ever actually done this on a live review. Watch out, beware. Mr. Howard steams in to take over the live chat. Hi, Jack. It's one of my favorite beer YouTuber gags. Slurpy Dave will be proud if he ever heard it. But yeah, hi, Jack. Thanks for popping in. We are, to be fair, down to the dregs. I said I was going to do an hour and I'm 5 minutes over already. I started 21 minutes late due to various issues, including a delicately bruised body bone from falling down the stairs. Falling down a stair, just sitting down really heavily. So, yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you lose with out-of-date beers. It does depend on the beer style a lot. I've got a 5% IPL in the cupboard. I just don't know what to do with. It's like a souvenir beer. I am going to drink it as a 5-year aged beer at some point, and it'll probably be terrible. But it's another one that a video I've planned for 5 years and never got around to it. But yeah, sometimes you do. The darker beers are probably going to be okay. I mean, I've got some beers in there that are like best before 2025, 2035, so they're going to be okay. But yeah, that's what I like the lottery of that. I love the lottery of like, is the beer going to be okay? Often, some of the stouts end up, you go too far past the best before, and they just end up being a bit over-carbonated, a bit bubbly. Just pour them out with a massive head. Some of the beers I've done videos before, and again, that's why I end up canning these videos, because they're just like, you pour out, it's like that, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to be putting that out, but I will talk about it. But yeah, this one, look at the head retention on that. It's quite thin. There's a thin sliver of head, but there's some good lacing on the glass. So, I mean, I got this one. When was it? I think it was like October, November. I think that Ragnify beer came out, so I got this one because it's my thing. And also, I got their big. I got their big imperial stout from Alter Ego. And it's like, I think it's 12% or 15% Stockholm syndrome. So I can just leave that one in there, and it'll be all right. You imagine? Anyway, I don't know. Oh, look at me necking that. I mean, it's only 5.2, but yeah, there's not the peanut flavour doesn't carry on that. Oh no, there it is, a bit late. Peanut wafer, lion bars. That's what I'm thinking of. Although that, as I say, looks to me like a star bar. But yeah, I'm getting a bit of lion bar. Do they still do lion bars? Has anybody seen a lion bar for a while? I know they did white chocolate for a while, but yeah, milk chocolate lion bars. I haven't seen them, so I didn't think they were still doing star bars, but I picked one up. Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, check that one out. Well, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for popping in. Thank you for all your comments. I'm down the bottom of a glass, so I've got to pick another one up. And then I've got to go upstairs to the upstairs bar of the Disco Arms where the dartboard is and play some Zoom darts. I think I'm the only person still playing darts on Zoom or doing anything on Zoom these days, to be fair. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you very much indeed. And wherever you are in the world and whatever beer it is you're drinking. And you know what? I just realised what I forgot to do on the last two was take the bloody photograph. But none of you bastards reminded me. But hey ho, these things happen. I've got spares, so I'll do the other ones another time. But thank you very much for popping in. You've been awesome. Hopefully another live tomorrow, maybe, if I feel like it, to be honest, because I've got loads more beer in the stash to get rid of, as you've just seen. So yeah, that was beer free Alter Ego, 5.2%. The new sound, peanut and caramel stout. I've been Disco of Rasko and Disco beer review. You guys enjoy the evening. Last comment there. Aussie football team had a young kid play well last night with the nickname Disco. Good man. I'm guessing he was either Dave or Stu. It was either Disco Dave or Disco Stuart. Disco Stu, that's my guess. This is not the slick ending I was hoping for, because suddenly none of my things work. Here we go. Right. Yes, thank you very much indeed, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been awesome. I've been Disco, Rasko and Disco Beer Review. Wherever you are, cheers and enjoy the beers.